Hello everyone. What do the parables of Jesus teach us? They teach us the eternal truth. They also offer surprisingly practical lessons for our worldly living, don't they? The Good Samaritan parable is one of the most beloved gospel stories for young and old alike. This parable, mentioned in Luke chapter 10, verse 29 to 37, has proven to be a popular one over the years. The phrase Good Samaritan, meaning someone who helps a stranger, is derived from this parable. Also, as you may know, many hospitals and charitable organizations across the globe are named after the Good Samaritan. Let me tell you why. This parable is about a traveler who is stripped of clothing, beaten up by robbers, and left half dead alongside the road to Jericho. First, a priest and then a Levite come by, but both avoid helping the injured man. Finally, a Samaritan comes by. Despite the fact that the Samaritans and the Jews dislike each other, the Samaritan helps the injured man. Jesus is described as telling this parable in response to the question from a lawyer who asks, "Who is my neighbor?" In response, Jesus tells him this parable, the conclusion of which is that the neighbor figure in the parable is the man who shows mercy to the injured traveler. Yes, he is the Good Samaritan. Comparing this parable with present times, what would the Good Samaritan do in today's corona pandemic? Just like the coronavirus, the robbers had taken away the man's health and left him half dead. Practicing social distancing, the Levite and the priest went more than 6 to 9 feet away from the wounded traveler who could possibly contaminate them. And then the Good Samaritan comes by. He stops and without thinking any further, he lifts the injured man and takes him to an inn. Friends, the fear and anxiety that the COVID-19 pandemic has evoked is waking all of us to some profound truth about what it means to be humane. What kind of followers of Jesus are we in 2020? Are we driven by our own selfish needs? Or will we be those who share and show the love of Jesus in the midst of this growing crisis? We Christians are stagnated. We are not growing to be more like Jesus every day. It is now that our genuine love for others will give light to a world that is already darkened with problems. I strongly believe that serving and loving others, just like Christ himself has served us through his death on the cross and his resurrection, is central to our Christian faith, even when it involves personal risks and cost. Jesus says in John chapter 13, verse 13, "By this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have the love for one another." The Bible reminds us in Galatians chapter 6, verse 2, to bear one another's burden. Yes, my dear friends, the Christian church is called to sacrificially care for the vulnerable, the downtrodden, and the poorest of the poor. Thus, I can strongly conclude that how well we endure in sacrificially serving the vulnerable is one of the greatest indicators of how deeply we have understood Christ's love for us. It is time that we show the world who Christians really are. Just like the Good Samaritan, let's check out and help our neighbors too. I pray that we look more and more like Jesus to every soul that we come across in our lives. And as said by Billy Graham, let's never forget that we may be the only Bible that the world may ever read. Thank you.